So thanks a lot for having me here. We are honored to show you our experience from the last 15 years. We've founded Cando 2006 with the idea to make more for the users. So customer experience, user experience, that was our goal, combined with business needs. So that's our mission. And today, after first introduction, I will guide you through some real-time or real-world examples. So Cando is a Swiss digital agency, and we develop amazing customer experiences, mainly in the area of B2C and B2B e-commerce solutions. Our customers, they are SMEs, smaller ones with 100 employees up to several thousand employees. So we have both international, pure player, dealers, distributors, but also smaller ones. And we love both. I will deep dive a little bit in the B2B area. Last year, we showed you the Vespa part. It was B2C mainly. And we also have some direct to customers or solutions and clients like HelloFresh, but we will concentrate on B2B today. So what will we cover? We start with the user needs. We always start with user needs, and we want to really know what the user needs and the context they are working in. Then the second part is stakeholder involvement, also called co-creation. The third part is how to personalize an experience. And efficiency booster, that means it's not just the user, it's also your category manager, product manager, and your employees. So what can we do there to boost their efficiency and their experience? And last but not least, we will show you some kickstart stuff, how you can fast start and the latest technology you can use to build great customer experience for e-commerce. And we have 10 minutes for Q&A like in the sessions before. Okay, know your customer. What we often hear is that it's obvious we know our customer, but a recent survey or study revealed that pricing is important for business managers, but only 20% said that pricing will be the most important topic for the next 5 years. 30-something% said product is important, and almost half of them said customer experience. So customer experience, that would be our top priority for our business in the next years. From a user's perspective, they also said that product and price is okay, but customer experience will overtake them by 2020. That was another study, and that's already fulfilled. Another important thing, today you use several devices, several channels, cross-channel. Experience is very important. So it should be consistent across all the channels. And some other last facts, almost 90% of the users or customers, they will spend more money for a great customer experience. And they will spend like 15 or 13 to 18% more as a price premium for a great customer experience. Almost half of the users would, or they made impulse purchase because of a personalized experience. We will cover that as well. Just some facts why user experience or customer experience is important. So what do we hear if we start with a client, especially if it's a big one? We are market leaders and experts, so we already know our customer. Let's deep dive a little bit and then start a project. Or let's do mobile first. We know it's important, we hear that, heard that, so mobile first. Or we need an app, we need an app. Okay. Normally, we start with a pre-project and a short feasibility phase where we really deep dive into the user needs and the context. And it's why is that important? You never know your customer really. That's, for example, a customer of us in the logistics area, and they wanted an app as well. Yeah, okay, but all the blue dots you see, these are screens or apps or devices. So it's much more than just an app. This guy has to work really efficient. There are a lot of trucks coming in, and he has like 1, 2, 3 displays. Then there's a card reader, there is an app for the truck guy, and so on. So there are many devices, so it's not just the app. So they started with a self-care portal where they combined many of the siloed applications. So that was the starting point. Desktop, really optimized for desktop, dashboards, large lists, and so on. And yeah, they developed an app, not just one, 5 apps at the end. So the first app was for the truckers, where they can scan their paper documents and get the allowance to arrive. Then another app was for another stakeholder group to pay for stuff. It was an e-commerce app, and so on. So it's most of the time it's a little bit more complicated than just mobile first. Another nice example was for the Swiss Federal Railways. What you see here is a traveler with an app for pre-ordering stuff. So imagine you are in a bus in the morning and you want to get your cappuccino, but you only have 7 minutes after leaving the bus and enter the train. So you can pre-order that in the bus. With just one hand, one thumb, you just pre-order a cappuccino or a focaccia. You have your bag in the other hand, so it's fully mobile, one-handed, one thumb. And that's important to know. Another thing is when we observed them, how they worked, so that was a proof of concept at 4 locations. Have a look at the left dot. There you see an Android tablet, and every time a new order comes in, there was a sound. It was like a ding. And the problem was the dishwasher made the same sound. So when they were washing the dish, they didn't realize that the new order came in. So we had to change the sound. And you never thought of that before. So there's no way. So you really have to go there to see, you go at the front to the user to see that. Another thing was barcode scanning, QR code scanning at the table. There was no space on the right side or reflections of light. So we had to optimize that. So you learn a lot. You learn a lot if you go there. Of course, the solution was mobile here. As an example, we used the latest technology like beacons, and the team here developed also some nice functionality. When you come earlier to pick up your coffee, the beacons realize that 100 meters before you enter the store, and then the barista will be able to see that and serve your cappuccino a little bit earlier, and so on. So that was really nice technology and mobile app in this case. Another cool example is Dobie. Dobie Inter is one of the largest beauty distributor in Switzerland and Europe, just for professionals. It's B2B. Their clients or customers are like hairdressers, nail studios, medical labs, and so on, hotels. Here the same. We started with the hairdressers and nail studios and wanted to see how they work. And what was interesting here, they didn't have a PC or just one PC. So their order was done mostly at home, or they used a mobile phone. And another thing was, have a look at the nails on the lower right part. They haven't been able to, for example, increase the size, the number of products, because the arrows were too small. So you really have to optimize for your target audience. And in this case, nails are important. So that was something. Then we also wanted to know, what do you think about Alexa and other stuff like AR apps? And you never know that until you test it. So we tested some scenarios, wrote some skills, because we thought they are washing the hats of their clients, and then they can just speak, hey, order me another shampoo or whatever. And they didn't like it. So they didn't want to talk with the machine when they are with their personal clients. But other stuff worked very well. The AR app was very well received, and I will show you an example. Let me see where it is. So we gave them the app and a shampoo bottle. So I'm not sure if you can hear the sound, but I will talk and explain. So they can use the camera of the mobile phone, and then they just scan. It's not a barcode or QR code scanner, it's really AR. So it detects the design and the product itself. Then you get the button, and with one tap, you will be able to order that. And that was very well received. So Alexa wasn't well received, but this function was very well received. So we went further with that one. Another cool case is the bike parts case. One of the, I would say, the largest dealer in Switzerland as well for all of the bike parts, Shimano, Bosch, and outdoor accessories and so on. And they have a service repair facility, so a lot of dirt, but they also have a showroom, and they have big monitors and other stuff which is important for them. They also scan stuff, they have labels and tags. What was interesting here is sometimes 6 or 8 guys work together. So one is putting in a Shimano gear, whatever, into the cart, and another does the same. And at the end of the week or end of the day, they order the whole cart. So several people are working with the same cart, and that could be a problem in some cases. So you have to address that as well. Well, the latest or the last example, if you go bigger, it's not always mobile first. It could be 4K first in this case. It's a self-service portal where they need a lot of space to dig deep and to analyze their data, orders, and so on. So sometimes it's even 4K or 2 times 4K. So the next point is how to involve the stakeholders. And stakeholders are like employees, partners, customers, users. So actually everybody, also from IT, from marketing, from sales, everybody who can give you feedback in order to get a good solution. We always start first with the user needs, like you just saw before, like employees, usability testing, we do prototypes and so on. So that's the first thing, but that's not all. After that, you also have to come up with some technology impacts or trends and do a workshop with the tech guys and talk about the scope. So it's much more than just the research of the user. We do a lot of co-creation. So co-creation actually involves all the stakeholders before and during the whole development process. And that's very important, not just once, no. In earlier days, you probably made a concept, then you developed stuff. Before the go live or launch, you just test it again, and then you released stuff. That's not the thing you work today. So you should do that much more often. So ideally, you will have a lot of touch points, a lean approach. So test often, short sessions, 5 guys, hallway testing, or a short interview. So you learn so much. It's much easier if you get errors in or detect errors in an earlier phase than after you develop the whole solution. So test often and work with all the stakeholders. What you see here is also workshops with all stakeholders, the whole management and all areas. After we talked to the customers, that was the next step. That was for Vespa and the configurator stuff. Another example for an academy, while the project was on the way, the customer said we need to know more about the academy needs for attendees there. So we developed with 15 guys, several groups, the ideal journey and the needs for an academy attendee. After that, everything is digitalized. It was before Corona, and everything was done online. And then from there, you go into the design, as you know, in Figma, Sketch, and so on, and you discuss that. So the final solution, the design, is actually influenced by the workshop from all the different aspects and disciplines. Another nice example, how do you optimize navigation from a user perspective? On the left side, you see an admin view. In this case, it's E-class, classification system, a catalog, many different levels. And that's not really what you want to show the user. A user will only, he wants to get straight to the point. That's the red path you see. It's IT multimedia devices, tablet point. So how do you align that? Especially if you have 30,000 or several of 100,000 of products, where do you find them in the tree? That's not that obvious. On the right side, you see like a Logitech camera, a laptop, hygienic stuff, batteries, a safe, glasses, or chips. So where would you find that? And what you can do is come up with a first approach internally, ask all your category managers, product managers, and other guys from marketing, and start with the first tree and navigation. After that, invite users, 5, 7 users, and let them sort using tree sort or card sorting. Let them sort the items into the tree. So you learn a lot. You can do that online as well. And if you want to have quantitative feedback from hundreds of users, just reach out to them and start a beta or an innovation pool where you can get feedback from a large group of customers. And if you do that, you will come up with a nice tree, and users will love that because they will find it quite easily. Another thing, often test prototype. So product variants, should you display each variant directly or should you group them? Just test it so you will know more. Or the last example, here we came up, the design team, with a nice idea to show 120 colors for the hairdressers to colorize hairs. And they thought, yeah, we will make nice filters like warm, cold temperature, dark, light. And when we tested with the users, they told us that's all nothing. We can't use that. You know, when we get education, everybody knows the numbers. So we changed everything and just displayed them the numbers. They knew 001 is black or whatever. So they knew that, or they know that by heart. And yeah, you just learn if you ask them, if you test. How about personalization? Personalized experience are very important. Today, we get overwhelmed. The cognitive load is very high. We get a lot of stuff. So show only the relevant information for each user and hide the rest, hide navigation, hide tree stuff, catalogs which are not important, content, articles, functionality, everything which is not important. Personalize based on behavior, segment, customer profiles, or user preferences, like permission marketing. Of course, recommend products using internal or external recommendation engines to make it smart, and trigger personalized newsletters based on users, events, and data. For example, in the beauty area, if you are the owner of a barbershop, you will be interested in the right side, probably, and you will get your personalized newsletter based on the barber products, and on the left side, classical hairdresser for women. So if you know that, just personalize it. Or product recommendations. In this case, it's Pimcore and Emarsis. So that's an integration of Emarsis where we get the recommended products and display that, and also use that for newsletter recommendation, personalization. And of course, if you want to personalize even more, let the user select from all his favorite options. That's the Vespa configurator as an example. where users can personalize their product and accessories. Another example is for the dealers. It's more B2B, also allow them to easily reorder spare parts and make it easy for them to see which parts, which screw are needed. So it's not that easy. Sometimes there are hundreds of parts, and old ones, new ones, etc. Okay, we have a few minutes left. Why data is key. Data is really important, data quality. We have a lot of data. We have experience data from what I've just shown you, from surveys, etc. We also have operational data, product data, order shipping data. And that's also important for cross-border shipping, because if you don't get it right, your goods will be delayed and the customer experience will be really bad. So high quality product data is key for a great customer experience. And also central management of that data is key, because we have so many channels. So you have to do that in a central way, in a good quality. And last but not least, for SEO, it's also important to have good data quality. This example shows several product detail pages from leading vendors. And imagine you are a user. Sometimes it's really hard to see if you are looking at the right product, the right variant, or how to select the right product. So make it easy for the user at first sight to select the right product. And I will show you how. Let's start with some features for your employees. To make it easy, there's a lot of work in the backend. And we came up with a lot of functions and stuff to make the life easier of an employee, category manager or product manager. For example, importers for catalogs, a classifier to get the classification system into the catalog, multiple catalog handling, attribute managers, how to manage them and select them and group them. Then kickstart storefronts out of the box where you can start for B2B and so on, self-care portals, apps, and so on. Actually, we have more than 120 B2B features in place to help you and your employees to get more efficient. And because of the time, I just want to show one example. Let's have a look at the attribute management. If you're a category manager, you have new stuff, you get attributes from the ERP system, like title, SKU, and so on. But that's not all. You have hundreds of PIM attributes, brand, stuff, series, formats, width, surface, weight, and so on. And you can group them and reuse them and inherit them. So that's actually the classification store of Pimcore. We use that as well. But that's not all. That's just the beginning. So what do you do with these attributes? One thing is you relate that to categories. Somewhere in the tree, it will be inherited down the tree. If you change stuff, if you add, remove attributes, that will be automatically updated in hundreds of products if they are used there, if existing data is there. So that helps a lot for your employees. Title generation. Titles are automatically generated with a brand, name, and attributes. You can configure that per category. Then search, very important. So the search index will use the attributes to come up with suggested search and type ahead functions and synonyms, etc. And product listing page, filters on the left side, tile previews where you want to see the right attributes to know that you're looking at the right product. And the product detail page, of course, there you have a lot of details about the product and all the attributes. And SEO, it's also very important to get the correct URL. This is how it looks like. It's a little bit overwhelming, but all the blue dots, there you see attributes in all kind of views. So you have tables where you can look at the variants with a lot of columns or filters and so on. And you can completely configure that. You can say for an iPad or for a tablet, I want to see the display size and camera, for example. You see it on the upper left side. But for a shoe or for something else, you want to see other stuff there. And that's really mighty help. So that's just one thing to show you. To sum up, on the left side, we have the business needs, we have the PIM, we have master data management, data quality, structure, business impact is important, B2B needs, a lot of features, and the data quality. But that's not all. You also need to address the customer experience and come up with an awesome UX for all stakeholders, partners, users, and your employees. It should be flexible and it should support you with bulk management as well. You want to wow your stakeholders, you want to make them efficient, and you want to add value for them. And what does it need as well? It needs some innovation consulting, probably. Some help with the methods to get there, and of course tech, the right tech, cloud-based software as a service, and headless commerce. And that's actually the last thing I want to show you, how technology comes into play. How can you kickstart that, the whole thing? Because it's quite some work. So one thing is, for example, here, that's a design system and front-end component library existing of more than 1,000 components, specially made for B2B storefronts. And it makes it really easy to start fast with your B2B shop. And we love Pimcore, but we also extend Pimcore. So we come up with own extensions, also enterprise extensions, and I will show you a little bit how it looks like. In the middle, you see PIM, DOM, CMS, Pimcore, but that's not all. It's a headless platform. It's cloud-based or on-premise, you can choose. We also have a search engine in place, Elasticsearch, a message broker, container and container management, Kubernetes, and a lot more. And the whole thing is managed and 24 hours, 7/24 monitored. We have a lot of connectors to ERP systems. On one side, catalog imports, and on the right side, there are the storefronts, and there are all the out-of-the-box storefronts and custom storefronts. From a functionality point of view, there are several packages or extensions. One is ERP connectors, REST API, Open API, Swagger, just to name some features there. Catalog manager for multiple catalogs, PME-CAT, classification, handling, self-care portal for your retailers, for your business users with cockpits, role-based, personalized. They see all the orders, they get services like RMA services and so on. So that's a really mighty portal. And storefront, of course, headless storefront, component-based, mobile optimized, and awesome UX and latest technology. Also apps for some specific use cases like scanning, AR, or barcode scanning and other stuff. And the whole bundle with many, many B2B features. So that's how it looks like, combination to start. We are actually, it's 1:30, so thank you very much.